Greetings and welcome, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, to episode 330 of the Words About Games podcast, a weekly news, culture, and gaming podcast for Words About Games. I'm your host, Amy K. Alexander, joined this week by the hooded one, Mr. Amy Moody.
I'm back, baby. Well, I was back last week, but I'm feeling better, if that helps.
In body, you were back in body last week, and now you're back in mind and spirit.
Yeah, kinda. Still a little bit, but yeah, I'm not 100%, but yeah, I'm basically getting there now, which I'm really happy about, because being ill fucking sucks. But it's Monday. You know what that means.
I do wonder, I think the only thing that got you through last week's podcast was the fact that 75% of it was about God of War.
Fair. That's fair.
I feel like if we'd just done a normal podcast, you would have just halfway through been like, I can't do this, I'm fucked, I'm done.
I would have just been like... I might have just collapsed. For
great timing.
Yeah, eventually, if you start away reading the story and all you see is me just
are you raising your desk or just sliding down your chair?
Moody, why are you raising Moody?
Why are you raising your desk? Wait, where are you going? No, come back. Moody. Oh, man. So apart from that, how you doing?
I'm all right. Yeah, I'm not bad at all. Been back to work. It was good to be back at work because I hate being off. I hate being ill. But yeah, it's good. Funny story. So I've had a funny week from a certain point of view. So our landlord who owns the building,
sure,
got the roof insulated.
Okay, that's good,
which is all good. Yes, helps us, saves heat, saves money, blah blah blah, all that. That's the jig of it all.
The jiggity jig.
The jiggity jig of it all. Yeah. Something else happened. So the insulators decided we're going to put our feet through the ceiling.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that kind of completely cancels out. So it completely cancels out the insulation.
Pretty much, holes in it. Yeah.
Great,
yeah.
Thanks.
And didn't say a single fucking thing.
Nice, that's what you want.
Until I found out and saw the first hole and was like, what the fuck?
Explain yourselves. Is this the part where you tell me the hole is like directly above you right now?
No. It's in the other room and in our landing.
Great.
The landing one happened on Thursday. I didn't find that one out until I got home from work. Where the missus literally met me on the stairs while I was walking up, and she's like, don't be angry. I was like, oh, what? What's now? What do you mean, don't be angry? And I come in, and she's just looking at me. Look up. For fuck's sakes!
No, you said don't be angry.
Something like that, yeah. And I'm just like, oh my god, are you kidding me? So thankfully, the first room that they put the hole through has been pretty much repaired. Okay, the owner got people in, and they've pulled down the ceiling and just put a whole new ceiling in. It should be fully finished tomorrow. The other one should get put in. Should be blocked up tomorrow or Monday of when this comes out and everything. But oh my god, I'm just like, the worst thing is, Amy, it's basically. Do you know the scene from Game of Thrones where you see Jon Snow and she just goes, and he's like this against Ramsay Bolton's army? Yeah, that's me against an army of fucking flies who are just coming down from the hole, charging at me, ready to go. And I'm there with 2 fly sprays, ready to fucking go. Spray them, and then I stand on the buggers. And I'm like,
I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me.
Something like that, yeah. And oh my god, like...
What a week.
Oh, yeah. I started still ill. I ended still ill, but oh my god, it's just like,
sure.
If you didn't laugh, I would cry about it. It really was. It's been a spectacle this week a little bit.
I had a day like that today, where it's like, people like some shit went right. I'm not gonna, and I don't talk about like stuff on the podcast, but like loads of shit went wrong to a hilarious like degree today, and like the two people I was with at 7:00 this morning were both like absolutely like, oh, fucking raging, and I was just laughing about it, and they were like, what the fuck are you laughing? And I was like, I mean, why not, right? It's happened now. I'm just gonna see the funny side of it. And we're just gonna carry on, because if you don't laugh, I'm gonna punch a hole in Moody's ceiling.
Wait, why am I saying?
Well, I'm not gonna punch it. My ceiling doesn't have any holes in it. I don't want to add one. Yours is getting fixed anyway, so I'll just. If yours is getting fixed anyway, I'll just punch a hole in yours.
Yeah, just because you're going to come down eventually next year doesn't mean I want you to put a hole in the wall or the ceiling.
Well, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Our plans of like, oh, come down before Christmas, kind of got interrupted by this week.
That was never going to happen. Yeah, that was never going to happen.
Like,
sadly.
Just a minor diversion from Manchester, the Manchester area to London.
Yeah, something like that. You came close to me, but went past me.
I just shot past you, like in a straight line, straight down, like.
Yeah.
But it was cool. It was fun.
Even wave to say hi.
I didn't even know when Manchester was going past.
Yeah, that's true. Like, a funny old week.
Yeah, it was. I'm so tired.
I can believe that.
Like,
I'm glad I've had sleep. I have had sleep, so I am glad about that.
I did have a nap today, which is good.
I had
like more time than usual before we started recording, so I was like, okay, first things first, nap time.
Hell yeah!
If I want to be functional and able to speak for 2 hours straight about video games with my best friend, I need a nap. But it was a fun trip. Like, it was stressful and it was terrifying and it was long. Well, it wasn't long. It was actually quite short, but that was part of the problem. But I got to meet Joe Medforce for the first time in person.
Hell yeah!
That was awesome. His car's got butt warmers, as I called them. It's like he's got the seat warmer, but he didn't tell me.
Nice.
So I just got in his car.
Just turned it on,
and I was just sat down, and my butt started getting warmer and warmer.
And I was just like, yeah.
Yeah, at first I was like, this is weird. And then I was like, no, fuck it. This is amazing. Like, I'm digging this. But yeah, like, he put me up for the night.
He did?
He did. We played games. We played Left 4 Dead on his Xbox 360. Old games are good, but
yeah, we know this.
You do miss like how controls have become standardized. Whereas like if you go back to a game like Left 4 Dead, all the controls are fucking all over the place, and you're just like, what the fuck's going on? Why am I pushing B to reload? What's happening? I don't know how to crouch. Oh, it's on one of the bumpers. Where's the melee button? It's the left trigger. Like, you're just like, what the fuck's happening? But it was good. We also played Mario Party, and like that was fun. But like, I haven't played Mario Party since I had a GameCube. So I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But then I was like, you know what? Like, what I remember from playing Mario Party, decade ago, more probably, was much more. Was you don't try and win Mario Party. Or at least my objective is always not to try and win, because it's a fool's game trying to win a game as random as Mario Party. So I just go in and I'm like, I'm going to cause as many problems as I possibly can in the shortest amount of time. And I started picking on Joe of it. Because why not?
That's what you have to do.
It was funny. I was just trying to get everybody to laugh. And the funniest thing I could do in most of those moments was to steal Joe's item. Or something. But it was great. It was amazing to meet him in person. Like, he's exactly the same as he is online.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
That's cool.
Can't wait to do it again.
Hell yeah. We'll have to get him to come up this way. Like, you guys meet in the middle, and that basically means you meet with me.
Well, see, we're both on one side and you're on the other side. So if we're in the middle,
the middle to the left. The middle to the left.
If I go down, Joe goes up, and you go right, we'll
meet at Sheffield then.
Yeah, basically, we'll meet at like Sheffield, and then we'll go out in Sheffield.
Oh, bless.
Perfect. That's the plan. I'm in.
No, don't like it. It means I have to move.
Yeah, it was quite funny because, like, you know, when you tell people, because I'm from the north of England, right? So you know when you tell people around you that I'm going to London,
London, baby.
inevitably you hit with the opinion of how shit London is. And like, if you don't like the big city because it's a big city, that's fine. I get it, totally get it. Because you're either a city person or you're not a city person.
Yeah, like me. That's me, basically.
Yeah, that's you. But if you're basing your shit opinion on London, like you think London is shit. Sorry, it's not your shit opinion, although it is a shit opinion. Based on like the North-South war or whatever the fuck we're doing. Like, bullshit. I call it bullshit. I walked through, one, I met a lot of lovely people while I was down there. But two, like, I was on a train going into London on the morning. And this lady passed out, like she fainted, like on the train. And like 6 people stopped to help her, like get her into a chair. Someone gave her the water. People were making sure she was getting off at the right stop. It was a nice display of humanity. Came back out north on the night time, waiting to get on a bus. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get on this bus. There's like 7 people getting on this bus. It's a double-decker. There's like 60 seats. Some fucking woman comes along, shoulder charges me out of the way, going, oh, I'm in front of you. I'm getting on before you because I was in front of you. And I'm just like, all right, whatever, man. There's like 50 spare seats. You do you. So like, when somebody told me the next day, I was like, oh, I was in London. They were like, oh, man, everybody in London is dead, like, horrible. I was like, not been my experience the last couple of days. Maybe it's just that some people suck. And those people live all over the place. So suck it.
Oh, definitely.
Basically.
Suck it is.
I'm sick of hearing the fucking whole fucking bollocks about London. I like London, and again, Moody doesn't because of perfectly legitimate reasons. But like, if you don't like it because you're from the north, I mean, you just need to get over yourself. The north's not as great as you think it is. Sorry. Let's hold on to that one for a few days.
Not me. I have no argument against London or anything like that because I have never been there, so I can't really fully comment on it. So
no,
like when I just my thing is, but I have been to other cities and I'm like nervous as hell when I'm in there. Like Newcastle, when I was in Liverpool, when I was working for PlayStation and everything, I was just like, I do not like this. Okay, where's my simple spot? Okay, there's the hotel. Boom. That's what it was like. From work to the hotel when I was staying in Liverpool for 4 days when I was at PlayStation. It was just like that's how it was for me. And it's just like that's just how I am basically. London. Do I think I will go there one day? I honestly do not know. There are things I would love to see. Like I would love to go to see the National History Museum because I'm a dinosaur lover and I just want to see the dinosaurs and try and nick a bone. I mean, see the bones.
For legal reasons, that was a joke.
Yeah. Allegedly.
No, yeah, allegedly. Like it's a cool city, but yeah, if you don't like big cities, and like London's like 10 cities in one, so it's like
yeah. Well, I went to Birmingham for EGX, I
don't like Birmingham.
Yeah, no, but I don't like cities in general. So like it was just like the same type of thing for me, but I was in a bigger crowd with everyone who like people I knew and everything, so I did feel a little bit more comfortable and everything. But at the same time, I'm just like, that corner, deaf corner. Deaf corner, deaf alleyway.
when we did EGX, I think it was the first time. It was in Birmingham, and one day I was getting taxis like to and from a hotel to the station to then like get to the NEC. Except one day where I was like, I'm gonna walk it. It's nice weather. Like I'm just gonna walk to my hotel. So I got my phone out, turned the GPS on, and I was like, cool, like it's like not that far, you know what I mean? Like I walk a lot, so I'm like, my idea of not that far is like, oh, it's only like a couple of miles away, like that's not that far. And so I got some lunch, dinner, tea, whatever. And I was like, I'll walk. And like the walk to my hotel was one of the most harrowing experiences. Just because of where I had to walk through. So I was like, I walked out and around, and then there was like this huge fucking like meat packing place where they like loaded all the trucks up with meat. So I walk around that, and I was like, oh, that's an interesting smell. And then you get to the other side of that, and it's like, cool. It's just straight up this hill for a mile. And I was like, mint, awesome. It's a straight line. How can I get lost in a straight line? And I started walking up, and I was like, oh, I'm definitely in the dodgy part of Birmingham. Like, it's like industrial estates. There's like burnt out cars. Like, I'm pretty sure I walked past an active drug deal. And I was just like, I'm gonna die because I thought it was nice weather and I should do a walk and I'm gonna die. Like,
I won't lie.
Nuts.
My first experience down at EGX at Birmingham, like I went with me and my partner we'll say this, like we had 4 fabulous days. We met so many amazing people and everything and had such a blast. My car was keyed.
Yep.
Yeah, my car was legit keyed. Because, I'll say this one. It's partially my fault because I didn't want to pay for my car parking where my hotel was. It was like a fucking 20 quid a day. And I was just like, what?
That's quite a lot of money.
Yeah, and I was thinking, Jesus, man, Premier Inn, what the hell are you doing to me? So I was just like, okay, you know what? There'll be some place that's just down around the corner, and I can just walk back up. So I parked up, found a place, parked it up, and I just walked back up. And then we went back down 2 days later because thinking, all right, we're gonna need let's go check the car and everything like that. Got down there, the car was keyed.
Shit.
So I was just went, just buy it and pay the money and park it in the car park. Just do it that way, and I did that, and when we came back to the year after, that's what we trained down the next year, so we were absolutely fine. But I was just like, you can't make this shit up.
Can't train your back for a second.
Yeah, but rather it keyed than smashed in, I guess.
I mean, yeah, so sure. Like, there's no wheels.
It could have been worse. It really could have been worse.
Yeah, no.
But yeah.
I mean, I have a lot of fond memories of EGX and the stuff that we got up to at EGX when it was in Birmingham, but I have no fond memories of Birmingham.
That's probably fair, yeah. Like I remember the first true night out with everybody. I really enjoyed it, but I was all at the same time. I was thinking, I don't drink.
All right,
Two, I'm not a pub person.
Sure,
I just want to be in my hotel.
We were at different nights out, I think.
Yeah.
Because I went to one.
I never technically met you until the final day I was meant to go home, and we only met for like 5 minutes, and then I left.
Yeah, basically. Because oh my god, that's a whole story. I've just realized.
Yeah,
that's like my experience of why that even happened was a whole story. Yeah, because I met Fixer on the Friday night. This is now the timestamp. Words About Games every Monday, YouTube, podcast services, timestamp in the description. So, I met Fixer on the Friday night because I was kind of out. I never really say I was in the kind of funny community, but I watched their stuff, and through watching their stuff, I've met people online who also like their stuff, right? So they were doing a meetup at Five Guys. That's where they started from.
Both me and my partner refused to go there.
Sure.
We went in there and we were just like, this place looks like an absolute fucking shithole, and the food looked disgusting, and it just looked way too expensive. So we ate at the place where we all met at for the drinks and everything at the Brewdog, and we ate there. The food the food we ate there.
Wait, did they just do the same night twice in a row?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Oh my god, right? Yeah, because we went to Five Guys, and we went there, and it was a lot of nerds, and by that I don't mean oh, fucking nerds. I mean, there was a lot of socially anxious people, right? And the people who were quote unquote in charge I guess, were like who like organized it and stuff. They were really good at talking to the people that they knew, and not so great at talking to the people that they didn't know. So there was like just a group of us like off to the side, like on our phones, because we were too awkward to talk to each other, and like we weren't in the group. And I remember this guy came up to me and he goes, "Is that a Resident Evil t-shirt?" And I was wearing like a Stars police department t-shirt, and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, do you like Resident Evil?" And I was like, "Yeah, I love Resident Evil. That's why I'm wearing the t-shirt." That was MC Fixer.
Who loves Resident Evil.
So the next hour and a half, I was talking to Fixer about Resident Evil, and then Haley turned up, and that was awesome. And I basically just hung out with them. There was somebody else who was part of our little gang, and I can't remember who it was now. They were from Ireland. That's all I can remember.
Oh yeah,
Really young kid. He's very tall.
Yeah.
And he kept calling Muck Fixer and thought it was funny, and I could tell it was he didn't like it.
Pissing Fixer off. Yeah,
he did not like it at all.
Yeah, he doesn't like it.
But that was the first year. Because I think we met the second time.
Yeah.
So that was it. Like I'd met Fix, we exchanged YouTube channels. And like that was it. We just kind of interacted with each other every now and again for the next year, basically. And the second year, because we knew each other, so we met up and we were talking to each other. And I was gonna come to another meetup because he invited me, not because I'd seen it and I was like, oh, maybe I'll check it out. But I was like, no, I can't. And he went, why not? And I went, because I've got tickets. I'm gonna go to the Digital Extremes party. Somehow, without ever playing Warframe, I'd been invited to the Warframe party.
Nice.
So like I went to that. I don't know whether that was the correct move, but that's what I did. But then I was staying in a hotel that was like on the outskirts of Birmingham, and what no one had told me, not the hotel, there were no signs. There was this thing on where people were like cycling for charity.
Yeah.
And the whole main road going from my hotel all the way into Birmingham was closed, and there were no buses. And I was like, oh shit. Because not like I'm definitely going to be late for AGX. Fine. How the fuck do I get into Birmingham? So I just started walking to every bus stop in the vicinity where I was like, there's got to be a bus somewhere. And eventually I met someone who was a chef at a museum in the city at a bus stop. And we just started exploring together. Eventually we managed to get on a bus because he was local. He knew what bus to get on, when to get off.
Yeah.
But I was super late for EGX. Like I missed the early entry, and then I was going for just the normal entry. And as soon as I walked in and joined the back of the queue, guess who was standing there?
MC Fixer.
MC Fixer. I was like, oh shit. So I was done for the week. Like in terms of like, I need to see this, I need to see this, I need to see this. So I just hung out with Fixer all day.
Yeah.
He got me a Sea of Thieves t-shirt. I watched him play Super Lucky's Tale, and then we met you because you came over to say hello. And that was the convoluted story of how you and I met.
But we never really spoke. That's the thing.
No, because you came and you said hello, and then you went, and then was it the year after where I I bumped into you independently of that, and we played Horizon Zero Dawn, and Sophia was there. But
yes, yeah.
But so we did that, and because we'd hung out all day, we got to know each other a lot better.
Yeah.
Beyond, oh, you like Resident Evil? I like Resident Evil. It wasn't. It was a couple of weeks. I want to say it was not that long. I got a message off him. Hey, do you want to review games? And I was like, I was reviewing games anyway, so I was like, yeah, sure, I'll review games. And I said, like, I'm working on this Cuphead one right now. And I was like, it's an Xbox game. Like, do you want me to review
podcast.
it? Do you want me to review it for you? Because you wanted me to review Xbox games. And I was like, and he was like, yeah, sure, do that. And he was like, okay, cool. And he was like, and in his words, he said, oh, and like every now and again, we might get you on the podcast. And I was like, that's cool because, I've got my own podcast, like, so every week I'm doing that. And like, if I'm reviewing games for myself and also for you at the same time, like, that's a lot. So, like, that every now and again sounds fine. So I said, yeah, no worries. Let's do that. And we talked about some other stuff. Like, we talked about starting a different podcast, about me streaming on his channel. But, like, the main thing was do reviews and maybe, like, every couple of months you'll be on the podcast. Agree to that. 2 days later. I don't know if it was actually 2 days later, but it was definitely within a week.
Yeah.
Joseph
Yeah.
quit my Xbox and me. So every couple of get you on the podcast every now and again turned into, can you do the podcast this week? And also basically for what, the next year? So I was basically the co-host of my Xbox and me. I went from 0 to you're on your co-host. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
This is a lot.
Yeah.
And that was really when I started getting to know you, because you watch the podcast all the time, and you, God bless your soul, I'll thank you for this forever, almost always sent an email in every week.
Yeah.
Because I said...
Doesn't need to do that anymore, thank God.
No.
I do not need to do that anymore.
No, I said, like, at the time, on the podcast, on Twitter, on everywhere, I was like, that's my favorite. Answering people's questions via email was my favorite part of the podcast. Loved it.
Yeah.
And so Mr. Glorious One kept popping up all the time with all these questions, and most of the time they were pretty good. Sometimes they were daft.
Oh, some of them were shit, I know
but
that.
on purpose, and some of them were shit.
Yeah, I knew that.
I always loved answering the questions, and so like we got to know each other. And then Snowbike Mike, he was one of the most interesting people I've ever met in my entire life. Like, if I could just follow that man around, like, I would do it. That would be an incredible way to spend my life. He kind of took over from me. And we only podcasted together, I think, once, which is a shame because I fucking
E3.
love that man. I fucking love that man so much. And then in between that and where we are now, you started asking me to be on your podcast, and I was like, "Are you sure?" Because I don't really watch that many movies. And you were like, "It's fine."
I never cared. I never cared.
But I always find it funny that you're always surprised that I did the homework. Like, you would send me the show notes, and there would be like trailers.
Yeah, links.
And you're always surprised. I was like, no, I watched all the trailers that you put in the doc. Of course I did. Like, because you put them there, so I watched them.
Yeah. At least someone did, right, Foxes? I know you didn't do all the time, mate. Love you, mate.
I love Foxes. Yeah, I mean, that's how I met Foxes, through doing that podcast.
Yeah.
Like, it's all like tapestry, isn't it? It's like a thread, right? It's like you take that one little thing, me going to a kind of funny meetup in a Resident Evil t-shirt, and that's what started all of that chain of events that I was just talking about.
Oh yeah,
it's just wild.
That is wild.
And now, like, you and me are best friends. It's great.
Yeah. That's what we want at the end of the day.
Didn't anticipate telling that story for 10 minutes today.
Don't know where that came from. How that started.
I don't know.
And I love that. That's it. Because I'm sure people may not realize there's not much news. So we're just gonna banter for a little bit.
We're just bantering for a lot of the podcasts. Like,
yeah.
That's my favorite thing about EGS. Like, you play games that aren't out, whatever. Like, get the content and stuff, and that's fun. But like, meeting people.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like, I've met so many cool people, either for the first time or like genuinely like met. Like at EGX. Like, the last time I was there, met a bunch of people on the Saturday and just hung out with them. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, that was my favorite day. How many games did I play? Like 4. Like maybe 5 games.
Yeah.
But I was just hanging out with a bunch of cool people, doing cool stuff, and that's why it's my favorite day. And I was like, I remember we all, when it was finished, and we were all like, "Oh, we'll definitely do this again next year. Yeah, I can't wait, man. It's gonna be awesome." Then 2020 happened. I was like, "Fuck."
Yeah. And then I went back to London.
Well, I was in London that year, because it was at the massive place. It was finally in a location that was big enough for it. At the XL.
Yeah, that's what I heard from Fixer, that why it went from London to Birmingham, because the place in Birmingham just wasn't, the place in London wasn't big enough to house it and everything.
Oh yeah, that last year before it went to Birmingham, it was so cramped. It was unreal. But it was getting that way in Birmingham as well, where it was getting cramped again.
Yeah.
And then the XL, it was like, oh, you've actually got room. Like people can walk. Like you know what I mean?
You could. You really could. Yeah. And yet somehow still got full really easy.
I know.
In the Birmingham.
Oh yeah, like
in the NEC.
At the NEC, at Earl's Court, at the XL. Like if you wanted to do stuff, like play games, to make content, to have podcast stuff, you did it on Thursday and Friday, and you just write off Saturday, and then you just see what Sunday brings. That was always the plan. That was always the game plan. It was like Thursday, Friday were great because they weren't that busy. Saturday was a fucking nightmare, and you just never planned on anything getting done.
I can appreciate that. Because everyone's going.
Because everybody's there. I don't know what. I think they get more people in on a Saturday than they do on the other 2 days. I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably fair. Won't lie, because it's the weekend's the first.
It makes the weekend a really good day to just meet up with people. Or just like chat to devs and stuff, you know what I mean? Just like that's what I used to do.
Yeah.
Like I used to just like chat people. Be like, oh hey, you're in a game, yeah, cool, yeah, oh, let's chat about your game and then like let's just chat about life.
Chat about life.
It's awesome. I miss it because I haven't been for like 3 years.
Yeah, I do miss EGX, there's no doubt about it. Will I go next year? I'm not fully sure yet. Like, I'll have to have a think.
I'm planning on it, but I have tons of people I need to meet. You know what I mean? Like, can't go another year with like, oh well, maybe next year. No, no,
yeah,
we're doing it. We're doing it next year.
We got things that we need to do, places to go.
This year has been such a wild roller coaster. Who even fucking knows where we're going to be in like September 2023? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Freaking beginning of May, I didn't think I was going to be working for PlayStation.
Like if we sat down on a podcast and we previewed the games coming out in 2022 back in January with Sadie.
Yeah.
And like if I had asked you, Moody, do you think you'll be making games at a studio in 2022? At that point, like, do you think you'll legit, seriously, like, have a job and do the thing? Because I know you were planning on it. But you were also doing college.
Like hell, yeah. But I went back to college because I didn't find a job in the industry, so I just went back because best to keep on learning and doing all that and everything. But I was very open with college, saying if I'm lucky enough to get into the industry, I'm out. I'm gone. I won't be coming back yet for college and everything like that. And they knew that, and they were all right with it. And even though my teacher, like he said, when I left, and emailed me saying, "Congratulations," all like that. Is there no chance you can finish? I said, "No, no, I can't.
I had one goal.
I'm working a full-time job, dude. No, go away. Thank you very much for your help."
I had one goal when I started doing this course, and I have achieved that goal.
Yeah, but it's bonkers.
It's like I'm getting very like, I don't know, introspective right now, because it's wild how like you can come into a year, let's say, with all of these plans. Because we talked about this, and I had the goals and I had the list, and it was all the things that I wanted to accomplish in 2022, and it's just gone like like it's just gone so far off course at this point.
There's no doubt, like, my aim was by the end of the year would be to be working in the industry. Like, that was my aim. I don't deny that. Did I think I was going to be able to do it? No, because I just lack self-confidence in myself and everything. And
you're singing my song.
And QA, just like, because that's what I'm in and everything, it's like, it's the hardest part to get into. Like, because everyone considers it the bottom of the barrel job, the baseline to start with, and then work your way up.
So everyone applies for it.
Yeah, and there's so many people applying for it. It's absolutely insane. So I truly believe, like, I know people say you can get into it without having the without having the experience or anything, or knowledge. But I truly believe the knowledge I learned from college helped me. There's no doubt about that. Like, college it's insane knowledge. To think for it. And yeah, it's insane that I worked for PlayStation for 4 months.
You worked for PlayStation for 4 months?
Yeah. I saw God of War for all years, you bastards.
Am I allowed to say that I knew that? You'd seen
it? Yeah, you can say that now. Yeah.
And I knew that, nerds. I knew about God of War. I knew stuff about God of War before any of y'all.
Yeah.
And the reason I know things like that is because I can keep a fucking secret. Unlike all these people leaking all this shit all over the fucking internet. People tell me things and it's like a steel trap. It goes in and it does not come back out again.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like, it really is. It's crazy. Like, it's crazy to think that. Go on.
No, I just remember when we were podcasting with Sadie and like she gotten a job at Konami and I was like, I knew and I couldn't say anything. So all the time it was just like, oh yeah, my friend. It wasn't when we were podcasting. It was when we were podcasting and you were talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! And I was sat there going, and in my head I was like, oh, my friend's just got a job working on Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah. I remember that. She came on. We talked about what was our most anticipated games.
Yeah,
and literally like a week or two later, the game came out, and I was just like, what? Sadie!
Okay.
I don't know you, but how dare you? But no, yeah. It's like, that's the great thing about it. Like I'll say it right now. Like the first game I ever worked on with the company I'm working with, who I helped pass the criteria that it needed to pass, comes out next week.
That's amazing.
That our company worked on to help port to Switch and PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5, and I can't wait for that.
Is it available via Boomerang?
Yes, it is. It is. I don't know if my name is going to be attached to it. I know my company is going to be attached to it, and I think that's how it is. If it's games that our company are properly developing, my name's going to be all over it and everything because I would have worked on it and everything. But the company I'm working with helped port this game that's coming out on the 30th of November. It's called, and I love this. I love it so much that it's a game I never even thought about. That I thought, what is your dream game? The first game you wish that you would help release. Oh, it's called God of War Ragnarok. It's Horizon Forbidden West. It's The Last of Us. It's Halo. Nah, Horse Club 2 Adventure Flavor. That's my first game that comes out the 30th of November for PlayStation 5 and the Nintendo Switch. Horse Club 2.
I'm going digging through those credits.
I don't think I'm on it. You'll see my company's name because we helped.
I'm looking anyway. I want to post it on because you can't. I want to post it on social media and just be like, look, that's my friend. That's my friend.
But no, yeah, it's like to know.
You showed me
like
a trailer for that a few weeks ago when you were working on it, and I was like, cool. I was like, this is fine. You know what I mean? Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, I'll say this for a fact right now. It's not a game that is like what we talked about with God of War Ragnarok last week or anything like that. But it's a game that's going to bring in so many people who love that type of game. Yeah. I'm so happy that you hear so much horror stories and everything like that for like games not passing the criteria straight away. This passed straight away. And I was so proud that I helped that happen. It was I was one of the main people who played the game throughout. I'll state this right now. There's no evidence to it, and that pisses me off. But I was the first fucker to platinum motherfucker on PlayStation 5. And then I had to delete it. For
Moody's first platinum.
I couldn't believe it.
We believe you. We believe.
My boss was saying, and now we have to delete it. I was like,
please. It reminds me of
take a picture. No.
It reminds me of having to like when I get like codes super early for like important games.
Yeah.
And it was like it wasn't like a criteria of playing the game or anything, but I always used to make sure like I had to fucking private my accounts. because like you just get fucking spammed all the time. Like I remember playing
What's it like? What's it like? How'd you get this game?
I remember playing Mass Effect Andromeda like 2 or 3 weeks before it came out, and it was just like, for fuck's sake, man. Like the thing was popping off, and I was just like, you know what, fuck this. They just privated my whole account. And then people are like, oh, what are you trying to hide? And it's like, I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm just trying to play in peace. Like when I did a stream of Far Cry 5, there was like an embargo thing, and I did a stream for like 2 hours. And like, it's the most views I've ever had on Twitch. Like, I can just say that straight away because the game wasn't out yet. But like, so many people were coming in going, "Oh, how did you get this?" And I'm like, "Hard work," like, because I worked my fucking ass off, like making content. And they're like, "Oh man, you're so lucky," and I was like, "Nope, luck had nothing to do with it." Like, I've worked hard. We've talked. They sent me a disc. Like, that's how this works. And you just get so many people just like fucking giving you shit for it, or you know what I mean? Where it's just like, look, man, start a Twitch channel, start a YouTube channel, go for years, build up a reputation, and then get whined at by a bunch of people who get blocked. Well, I'm just trying to have fun.
Blocked by me because I don't even see him anymore.
But yeah, no, like that's so cool that your first game's coming out. Like your first game, first ship game,
first shipped game.
I'm just getting the timestamp right in my head.
No, yeah. House Club 2 Adventure.
It looks like it, honestly, and I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. Like you should, because you told me about it a while ago. You showed me the trailer for it, and like it looks like a fun game for the demographic that would want to play it.
Yeah. Really is, yeah. For the demographic it's aiming for, like the first one sold bonkers.
Yeah, bonkers, I mean, if they're making a sequel, yeah, sure.
And yeah, so
Horse Club Adventures too. Actually, it was funny. I was thinking about you actually because I did see I saw a review pop up like 2-3 weeks ago from this site I follow, like a little site, ladiesgamers.com. And they reviewed Horse Club Adventures too, and I get emails every time they publish an article, and so I saw it pop up in my inbox, and I was like, "Oh, I remember that." I'm just looking at the review now to see what they said, because I think they liked it. I'm pretty sure it's a long review. Yeah, it got their like top. I liked it a lot. I like it a lot. Final verdict, because that's their sort of review scale. You got a thumbs up.
Yay.
It's a delightful simulation game which will appeal to many young gamers. I've never had a great passion for horse riding, but I thoroughly enjoyed galloping around and participating in virtual horse events. That's it. It's a review. Looks cute. Just so happy for you, man. Now, what's your next game?
I can technically say it, but I'm not going to.
Don't.
I can't technically say it because there are trailers out there for it, but I'm not going to.
That would be like me. I can technically tell you where I was on Wednesday, but I'm not going to.
Yeah. Next year for my company, it could be a massive year for us. So it's going to be exciting. We've got some games in the pipe what we're looking forward to.
So like, yeah, I don't know all of the games you're working on, obviously. But like the games that I know that you're working on, that like are public knowledge, not don't be secrets, like that are actually public knowledge and stuff. Like there's some games where I'm like, this is like, hell yeah, like, I want this game. Like for sure. Bramble the Mountain King is one I've like had my eye on for years at this point. And I'm like, hell yeah, give me that game. Give me that game, Moody.
I'll say this, like I think it's fair, I give content creators some shit sometimes. I don't deny that. Because sometimes really? Because like I just feel like it's just like I don't know, I just don't have a great opinion of them. I think and everything like that. But one of the biggest YouTubers out there, I can't remember his name, did a playthrough of that, and it's just like Wow.
Moves the needle, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did. And it's insane to think that. And it's like, well done. Like, yeah. And yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say on that.
Yeah.
What a cool podcast so far.
Fun?
What a cool podcast we've had so far.
Yeah, it's just rambling, and I like that. I like just rambling and shit.
Yeah, rambling's
It's got a lot of things going on, man.
Rambling's a lot of fun. It's like a vlog, but longer, and there's two people here. And I don't have to edit out all the bits where I forgot what I was talking about.
No doubt. No doubt.
Do you want to do the thing that you said you wanted to do?
Well, why not? Yeah.
Going to do like 25 minutes ago.
Yeah. We're only going to get into it for like 20 minutes, and then we'll be talking to the other stories.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've had some fun. We talked about how we became friends and EGX and working in the industry, and your first game is shipping in, what is it? It's Monday. 3 days. 3 days.
2 days.
Amazing.
Which is insane to think. Yeah. So yeah, like obviously there's not much news or anything like that. So I thought like, oh, why not? Let's continue just the rambling chattiness that we've been doing this episode. Let's talk about the games that have made an impact on us.
Sure. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I have not played anything in the last 7 days.
I've played Pokemon Scarlet.
Not a thing.
I'm not ready to talk about that yet.
Yeah.
So I probably will talk about it more next week. So
I played Pentiment for an hour, and I was like, "This is a lot of reading. My eyes are going blurry. I'm gonna stop."
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Let's do it. Games that have made an impact on us. Games that have made an impact.
Well, bloody hell, man! It's like there's so many.
One at a time.
Like I've whacked up a list quickly for myself, and these basically just the games that came to my mind for me. I'll start with for the longest time, my favorite game of all time, Final Fantasy IX. It's my favorite game of all time. There are other games that are up there, which I will talk about. But yeah, Final Fantasy IX. I still to this day remember getting that on Boxing Day.
Wow.
On Christmas Day, I got a PlayStation 2.
Okay.
And Boxing Day, we went out. My parents always got me and my brother always an extra gift, and I wanted Final Fantasy IX. No idea what Final Fantasy IX was, by the way, because I wasn't much of a game. I just like played just for the heck of it, and I liked the look of the box, and I liked the look of the box, the box art on the back, and I went, I want this.
I mean, the box art, it's simple, right?
Yeah,
but it catches your eye.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it really does. And I remember playing it. Yeah, no worries. I remember playing it, and I played it and completed it twice between Boxing Day and New Year's Day. And I never moved from my room for those 4 days, apart from obviously needing to go for some food or going to the bathroom and everything. And I was a young, smelly little boy those 4 days. Maybe not my proudest moment whatsoever, but I fell in love with those games. For that game, Final Fantasy IX, the characters Zidane, Vivi, Garnet, or Dagger, depending on what name you want to give her. Steiner.
Well, she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go undercover," and I always used to make a name Garnet still because it was funny.
I'm going undercover as Garnet. Wait, aren't you?
I do that
no.
I do that in Final Fantasy VII as well. You know, Red 13, where you don't know his name until the middle of the game. It's Nanaki, but I always just used to call him Nanaki. And then the dialogue when he gets to Cosmo Canyon is really funny.
Sorry,
I could hear you all the way there and back again. That was awesome.
I bet you could. So like Final Fantasy IX, it was just so impactful on me. I still play at least once, like say every two years, I would say, give or take, depending on like how many games are out that year.
Big game, right?
It is a big beefy game. There's no doubt about it. And there's no doubt about like if I play it on my PlayStation or PlayStation on my Xbox or heck even my PC, I'm not gonna lie, I use the cheats. Now I'm just whacking through it, doing fast speed and everything, killing everything instantly. And it's just because I'm just now there just for the enjoyable entertainment and enjoyable story and everything that I have from it. And it's just really, really just a great game, and I love it to bits.
Yeah, I mean, when I replay God of War Ragnarok, as somebody who has the Platinum Trophy and is 100% of the entire game, which apparently I did faster than the hosts of a Trophy Room, the PlayStation podcast.
What? Shame on them.
Because we're up on Hive now. Like, there's people like moved over to like Hive Social, and like Kyle posted, he got the Platinum a couple of days ago, and I was like chatting to him about that. But yeah, I beat PlayStation podcast hosts to the Platinum of God of War Ragnarok. But like, I'm definitely gonna knock that difficulty all the way down if I ever replay it, because I'm like, I've done all this stuff.
Yeah,
I don't need to prove anything to myself.
Yeah,
like I already did that.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's such a... I remember Final Fantasy 9. I remember it took me way longer to complete than it probably should have, because I got really addicted to that card game that you could play in it.
Yeah, the card game's decent. Yeah, no doubt.
And I got really close to the end and ended up skipping an entire Deus Ex 1 to finish it. Because I was like, I'm just going to keep playing this. Mom's at work. She's not going to know I've not gone at sixth form. Just keep playing Final Fantasy 9. And I did. Finished
Hell yeah.
That's a great game.
It is, yeah. And if the rumor is true that they are remaking that, oh my God, Amy. That reactions might need to be around then. I might need to be around for the reaction. Like, if we hear there's a PlayStation thing coming soon, like, I'm going to have to be on to react to that. I have no choice.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And if I've already stated that I don't intend to be watching the Game Awards this year. I'll watch the highlights, see who wins and see what trailers come out. But if I get a text from you in the morning saying, David, we need you to react to something,
thing is,
and I'll know what I'm talking
about. You'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and I'll be like, what? No.
You'll have
how?
It'll be one of those things, because I know you don't like it when I send you text when you're asleep and the Game Awards is on, or like fucking 4 o'clock in the morning.
I'll mute myself, it's fine.
But like, you will have a text message off me after that happens. Yeah. I will send you that. I don't give a shit what time it is. I'll be like, Moody, Final Fantasy 9. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. And then I'll just be texting my boss, so I'm going to be late.
I just need to do one thing real quick.
I need to do one thing, and then I need to wipe my tears.
Then I need like 10 minutes to compose myself.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, hey, I've been through that with Final Fantasy VII Remake, right? Like, I already went through
that. I went through that with the teaser and full trailer for the Disney's live-action remake of The Lion King. Like, when you first see the teaser in here, I was like, what? Oh, I teared up, and I remember that day I remember it to this day. And the film was beautiful, and yes, same as the cartoon and everything. But I don't care. It was still like, my God, I remember the trailer. It's like...
We weren't doing video when they announced Final Fantasy VII Remake, so there's no like video of me losing my mind. Like, I think I was sat in a group chat with Keith and Russ and Tom while and we were all in separate locations, and the PlayStation thing was happening, and this group chat started pinging off of me, being like, is this Final Fantasy VII? What the fuck is this Final Fantasy VII? Well, and then it just gets progressively like more and more unhinged, more spelling mistakes, capital letters. You know, it's just like, what the fuck. And then you see Cloud, and I'm like, but in text form.
I believe that.
It's good shit. It's good shit. I mean, that when you were like, oh, games that made an impact on us, I was like, well, what kind of an impact, right? Because if I enjoy something, it makes an impact on me. That's how art works. But like really impactful games, so my gaming story, like, because I had like consoles and stuff when I was growing up, when I was a kid, but it was just like, I was like, meh, whatever on games. Like, I had Sonic and I had Golden Axe, and I had all these like Sega games that people are like, oh, these are classics, and I was like, yeah, sure, okay, whatever. Like they're fine, right? But like gaming never really like for me the metric was like, did I game more or did I read more? And then, like gaming never became that thing where I was like, oh, I have to be doing this, you know? Like I beat Mortal Kombat, like I beat Sonic the Hedgehog, and I was the only person I knew who had like a Mega Drive with Sonic the Hedgehog 2 built into it. Everybody else got Alex the Kid.
Oh, bless them.
People thought I was making it up. I was like, no, I'm not. Like it's a Sonic Mega Drive. I don't know what to tell you. But like I didn't really get into gaming as like a thing that I loved until PlayStation, the PS1, and like it was 2 games more or less around the same time. I don't know if they were back to back. Like my memories. You know how memory works of like something that happened like decades ago, right?
Yeah.
But like Final Fantasy VII was the first one. Like I saw someone talking about this on Twitter a little while ago, where it's like not the games that you love or the game necessarily your favorite games, but the ones where you just went, wait, games can do this. Like wait, games can do this. They can be this thing, and like yeah. So you used to playing like Sonic and Golden Axe, and like it's a level, and you beat the level, and then you do the other level, and maybe if you're playing like Streets of Rage, you do it with a friend, and you pick the trash can, smash it all on the head, and it's funny. But playing Final Fantasy VII did the exact same thing you did. Knew nothing about it. I was just in Blockbuster one day. I had birthday money. I saw the box art, and I was like, "This looks cool. This looks like it might be all right." And you know what? Like that, sure, I'll give it a go. I read the back of the box, and I was like, "This sounds interesting." And then like you play it, and it's like, wait, what? Like games can have like proper stories. Games don't just have to be like level 1, level 2. They can be like a world that you can go around, and it has characters and a story, and it can make you cry. And I was like, okay, shit. And I played that all summer. So like it was like summer holidays, and I just played it all the way through summer, beat it, and then I was like, fuck, are there more games like this? Let me start getting. So at that point, I was like, let me start getting gaming magazines. Because like I now need to find out, are there more games like Final Fantasy VII? And I got a game magazine, and again, I don't know if it was necessarily the very next like magazine I bought after playing Final Fantasy, but that's just how it worked. Because your brain builds up narratives. I bought this magazine. It had a demo disc, and on that demo disc, it had a demo for Resident Evil 2. And again, it was that similar sort of thing of like, wait, this game is just a world, right? Like it's a thing. It's not like levels. It's like you just run around this mansion and you unlock the doors and stuff. It remembers where you've killed the zombies and
yeah.
What the fuck? Like, and like my mind is just exploding in all these different directions. So like, I don't necessarily have like those are my first ones. I can't separate them in my head. A demo for Resident Evil 2 and Final Fantasy 7. Where I was just like, I'm in. Like at this point, I am all the way in on video games, and luckily, I have a parent that works at Blockbuster Video. Gets free rentals, so I can rent anything I want. So I stopped renting non-stop Star Trek videos, and I started renting video games, and I got to play so many PlayStation games, and it was just incredible. Like all of a sudden, it was like this world just opened up to me, like from just playing these 2 games and realizing like what video games can actually like be, and like just from that moment on, it was just like, oh, okay, maybe a video game doesn't have to be Mario, you know, as great as that game is.
As iconic and everything like that.
And like obviously those games existed because obviously I played the 7th final, you know, there's 6 more before that. So those games always existed somewhere, but like it was Final Fantasy VII was like my first contact with that kind of game. So that was what opened it up to me, and that was basically why I play games as much as I do, and I'm where I am right now. You know.
Yeah, no doubt. Like it's an amazing what some games have done for you and how it transitions you to certain things. So like Like you brought up Resident
I'm
Evil 2.
going to remind you of that pun that you didn't realize was a pun in about 15 minutes.
Cool. Like Resident Evil 2, that I love and still love to this day. It's still arguably one of the best horror games of all time. And then obviously they remade it, and the remake was masterful and everything. You can't really fault it. But from Resident Evil 2 took me to the game I've continued to say I want to remake to, and that's Dino Crisis. I absolutely adore the first Dino Crisis. I enjoy Dino Crisis 2, but the first one, I remember playing that with my old friend of mine in his house, and like we remember the part like where we're running down the aisle, going to get this thing, and then boom, through the window, a fucking raptor jumps on you, ready to tear your head out. And I'm like, and we literally scream our heads off. He chops the remote, his controller into the air, and almost smashes it. And then obviously we die because he didn't get to the controller in time. And I'm just like, yeah. And still to this day, like I love it. I can't. That's why I'm so passionate of hoping that Capcom would do a remake to it. But like, yeah, I loved the characters for it. What I loved so much about it was just like they made it was so tight knit. It was only a handful of characters in the game. It's like 4 or 5 of them even, and it's just dinosaurs that you have to try and survive for. I remember the first time you meet the T-Rex and it smashes its head through the window and everything. You're just like, how the hell am I meant to survive this?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's incredible. I really enjoy it. And it's just like, I just remember those type of that impacted story for it. Like, and then I'll go like to this one. Like, everyone knows I love Pokemon. The original games, blue, red, and yellow. I adored those on my old Game Boy Color. I adored them, and I still hold them to great deal to my heart to this day. And like, that's why I still love Pokemon to this day. Like everyone can see and whatnot. Like I'm playing Scarlet and Violet and everything, and I've played all the games. And yeah, I can't like all these have impacted me in such a way that have made me who I am.
Yeah, sure, of course. Yeah, like I played a ton of like PlayStation. Like if you want to talk like a console that impacted me, it would be the PlayStation 1 because that's what started me off. Dino Crisis, great game. I did the same thing. I played it with a friend, like passing the controller backwards and forwards. And like the part that stands out to me is when the T-Rex smashes its head through the window. And you're just like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? It was a cool game. Like that and Resident Evil 3, I think, was one we did together as well. And there's like others. I mean, he didn't want to play. He thought Silent Hill was too scary for him, so I had to do that one by myself, which is good. But I don't like Dino Crisis. Like, I can't talk much about a Pokemon, despite Pokemon there and Pokemon there, and it's just like I've played so.
That's a really weird thing about you, though, isn't it? Like you like certain designs of Pokemon. Your first Pokemon experience was Sword and Shield.
It was Sword, and I don't have
which you never completed because you hit a certain evolution, and you're like, I'm out.
I'm out. Fuck this. How dare you, Pokemon? How dare you do that? I mean, I do it. It's just like the thing with Pokemon games is I just need to find that window of opportunity to like get into it because there's always something else going on in my life when a Pokemon game comes out. It's like it's not even just necessarily there's other video games. It's like no, there's like shit going on in my life where I'm just like I don't have time for a Pokemon game right now.
Yeah.
And so like I'd love to, and one day maybe I will. But like every time, and I go in with the best of intentions, I think this is the one. Pokemon Violet, Scarlet Violet are out. This is it. This is the one I'm going to play. And then life happens, and I'm like, oh, guess that wasn't the one I'm going to play. What's next?
That's true.
But yeah, I don't know what will be my next one. If I'm trying to like do chronologically through my life, I guess the next game that had a massive impact on me. That's what I'm kind of trying to
do as well.
I guess the next one that had an impact on me would probably be Halo. Like one, but it counts for the whole series for like different reasons. But like the first Halo game was like, for size, it was and I loved playing GoldenEye and I loved playing Perfect Dark on the Nintendo 64. Played shitloads of them with friends. It was a lot of fun. Halo was the first console shooter that was good. Like GoldenEye and Perfect Dark were fun games to play with friends because they were highly chaotic, they weren't very good games. And it's not the developer's fault. It's the controller's fault. It's the hardware's fault. We hadn't figured out how to make first-person shooters work on a controller yet. Like Halo figured it out, and so I played that game obsessively. And then you could do multiplayer with it, so you could, but not online because you didn't have that yet. Connecting Xboxes together, like people would come to this house, right? And like you'd put the Xboxes together, and it was like, well, we're not going to do it in the same room. That's boring because then we can hear each other's screens and stuff. So we literally, Russ got his brother to take the system link cable, cut it in half, and extend it. So like soldered a massive cable together, so we could take the cable, right, and one team could be upstairs, and then we fed it through the window. Down the stairs through the other window where the main TV was, and then the other team was in the other room, and we'd be screaming at each other from down the stairs and stuff. Like that was our multiplayer experience of Halo.
Interesting.
And then like two teams would be playing on split screen, so you'd have like these tiny little, relatively like to modern day TVs, like these tiny little CRT TVs, and then you get like one corner of the screen, like
yeah.
And we used to play that for hours at a time, like entire day. It would be like if we were doing a Halo thing, that would be the whole day. That would be what we would be doing all day. Take a break, eat some food, trash talk each other, go back to your respective rooms, play more Halo.
Trash talk each other.
And I used to be the best. Just saying. I used to be the best at Halo. You have the scoreboards. There was 8 of us, and I was used to have the most kills, most flag captures. I was the best. And like it extends to like the whole series, right? Because like Halo 2, I played that in university, and that was when Xbox Live started being a thing. It was like one of the first games on Xbox Live, so like it was a good way to keep in touch with my friend, like because at the time it was like I was playing with Russ. And then like Halo 3 comes out, and more people are getting Xboxes. Like more people I know are getting Xboxes. People are getting like Halo. Like Keith started to join us. So like Halo 3, Halo Reach, and it became more than just a good game that I really, really enjoyed. Great game that I really enjoyed. And it became like a part of a way where I would keep in touch with people because we'd play Halo together. And that's the impact part. They're awesome games, but the impact part is they're such a big part of how I managed to like make friends or keep friends and like make memories with those friends. All the way through like to Halo Reach.
That's amazing.
I'm living up here now, so I don't need to use Halo to keep in touch with them. Like they're over there. Yeah. We have Discord now. We have like multiple options for keeping in touch now. It's not just like, oh, Xbox Live is our only choice.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's insane to think. Like I missed Halo altogether. Like I wasn't an Xbox person. The first Xbox I ever got was the 360, and I never even touched Halo then. And it was just one of those things. Like you and me played it over the pandemic and everything, and I had a lot of fun, like you and me playing it and whatnot. But I never really clicked with it at the same time. It's just one of those. It was just I missed it. It was just one of those times that I missed. It's like the same with like the Gears franchise. People who play that and love that franchise, like just love that franchise. But when I've seen it and everything, I'm just like, this doesn't work for me. But I love that it works for so many people, and that's what's so great about different games and everything.
Sometimes it's just timing. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just
definitely,
miss the boat on things like Pokemon. Like I just missed the boat on Pokemon.
Yeah.
Before we continue, let's do a quick break for Indie Game of the Week, and then we'll crack on with talking about some more cool games.
Let's do this.
Sound good? So this is Indie Game of the Week. This is the thing we do every week where we talk about one cool-looking upcoming indie game that we kind of like the look of. This week's Indie Game of the Week is Paleo Pines. Paleo? It's got to be Paleo. Paleo Pines. Welcome to Paleo Pines, a peaceful island of pioneers and affectionate dinosaurs. Here, evolution took a different path. Survival of the kindest, creating a world in which humans and dinosaurs live together in harmony. As the only known descendant of the legendary Flute Whisperer, your arrival on the island is met with delight by local inhabitants. Together with your Parasaurolophus companion Lucky, you build a thriving ranch, make friends wherever you go, and unearth the lost history of your ancestors. there's plenty to explore out in the wilds of Paleo pines, from the flowery fields of the Viridian Valley to the high canyons in the desert. Stroll around the various different areas to find wild crops to forage, colourful characters that might need a hand, or, of course, a dinosaur to befriend and take home to your ranch. A variety of adorable dinosaurs roam the wild areas and can become your friends as well as helpers on your ranch. Gain their trust to create customized pens for them to frolic, feed them, treat them, give them attention, and keep them happy. Your efforts may very well result in your dinosaur friends trusting you enough to help you out with your farming tasks, and don't forget to pat them on the nose. That's it. Paleo Pines is being developed by Italic Pig and is coming in 2023 to PC via Steam. There's a link in the description below. Go check the game out, look at some screenshots, watch a trailer, hit that wishlist button, support some independent developers. Always hit the wishlist button. Wishlisting is very important to help and very helpful for developers.
I can very much confirm this.
Yes, and that's why my wishlist is huge. If you're ever thinking, oh, I'll buy Amy a Christmas gift, let me have a look at her Steam wish list and buy her a game off there, you don't. Because it's fucking massive. And you won't find many games that are actually out on it. But, I mean, good luck with that. Scroll through that wish list, if you know me, and find a lot of cool looking games. Moody did that once. I remember just seeing this massive string of notifications on Steam, just being like, Daft Moody has wishlisted like 100 games.
Well, yeah, that's true. I think I did do that. I did do that indeed.
You did. Let's get back to talking about cool games.
Cool video games.
History.
Next one for me is Star Wars KOTOR.
Nice.
2. Sith Lords.
Cool.
Not the first one, it's the sequel. That's the one I actually fell truly in love with. It's the first one I actually played compared to the first one. It's a really weird thing. I was a kid. I didn't really care.
Kids are idiots.
Yeah, so that's it. Hey, I'll say this right now. My favorite films, everyone knows who it is. Alien and Aliens. I watched the sequel first before I watched the Alien. Didn't even think. Just friend put it on. Shouldn't have watched it at my age, but I enjoyed it.
That was me in Terminator. I should not have watched that as soon as I did, but I did.
Yep. I just watched that again.
That's a good film.
I did a James Cameron day yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Didn't get through all his films because they're so long, but I love them.
So, I'm going to ask you a question before you start talking about KOTOR, Tim. So you stopped playing games for a while and then got back into it. Was it KOTOR 2 was the one that got you back into it?
No, it was the Uncharted and the Mass Effect area. PlayStation 3, Xbox 360. The back end, basically said 2012, 2013. When that all,
right.
Yeah.
I remember that age of gaming well.
Yeah. So yeah, KOTOR 2, like I have huge nostalgia for the first KOTOR, but the sequel one for some reason just clicked with me so much. I just loved the combat and how it worked. Yeah, I didn't have the internet then or anything like that, so I had no idea that they got this out in 2 years, and they probably should have had more time on it and everything. I didn't know anything about development or anything at that time.
They probably should have had more time on it. The Obsidian Entertainment story, because they did that so many times.
Yeah, basically, yeah. But I loved it. I really had a lot of fun with it. I loved the characters. I loved each one about. And then I realized when I played 2-1, I was just like, these characters are just as great. But because I already knew the spoiler from the first one, because of the first sequel, the impact of that never really made me go, and everything like that.
Shit.
But I also understand the impact of that at the same time. And it was just like, yeah, the KOTOR games are great, but like I always have a nostalgia for the Sith Lords. I just always have. I preferred the combat in that one compared to the first one. I felt like the combat in the first sequel was a lot more smoother.
Hey man, until I'd say like fairly recently, Obsidian Entertainment never got the fucking kudos they deserved for the games that they made.
I would still say they're probably still not getting them. I think they got a lot of praise for their last game they released, but I think they're still I think we're still waiting for that one like Horizon, the God of War remake, the God of War of 2018 and everything, where everyone's like loving their development and everything. And I think they're still waiting for that.
Fallout New Vegas is underrated. Fight me.
Yeah, like that, a lot of people praise that as the best Fallout, and yet
it is.
And yet
it is, and it's not even close.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Like, so here's a fun fact for you. I've never played the second KOTOR. No. Here's an even. Do you want an even funner fact? Never even finished the first one.
I knew you were going to say that.
So KOTOR came out at a time when I had this weird period. I didn't like stop playing games. What happened was I got into WoW.
So you stopped playing games.
So I had Halo 2. So I had Halo 2, where I was playing it in. I played thousands of hours of that game, and I was keeping up with people, and it was a social thing. And then my housemate got me into WoW. So that period of time, I missed a ton. I missed a ton of games because the only other games I was really playing were GameCube games as like a social thing. So like Smash Brothers, for example, or Mario Kart Double Dash. So like KOTOR, I had it, I played it, I didn't finish it. That would have probably been a game I would have finished if I'd been playing on PC, but I was playing it on an Xbox, and it's not the greatest kind of game to play on an Xbox. I feel like it's fair to say. And obviously, because I never finished the first one, I never played the second one. But I heard really good things about them.
The only thing that I can see maybe people may be annoyed about or like question, and I even questioned it myself, was just like, so all this massive impactful thing happened in the original game in KOTOR, but the sequel's literally only 2 years later. So I'm like, where is everybody? Where is Revan and everything like that? And I'm just like, is he dead? And I don't know if they actually clarified it or anything like that, because I wasn't really fully paying attention. I was just like, lightsabers!
Star Wars! Woo!
Yeah, something like that. Yoda! Not Yoda, but Yoda! Type of thing. And yeah, it was just...
You saying that has reminded me of another game. So I'm going to quickly step back in time before I get back on the chronological timeline. Star Wars Dark Forces on PlayStation 1. It's like a boomer shooter that was Star Wars, and it was pretty good. But for whatever reason, my mom liked it. So we had this weird bonding moment over a Doom-style shooter with a Star Wars skin on it.
That's so cute.
So, like, I love that game. Like, it's great. Played the whole fucking series. But that one game specifically, I don't know why. She got into the weirdest games. Really. She liked that. There was a puzzle game on PS1 called Karushi. She fucking was obsessed with that. And then it would just be like the strangest things that would catch her attention. Like I would have thought like maybe story games would get her because she likes watching TV shows and stuff. But no, she liked watching me do the parkour in Assassin's Creed. Because I missed tons of Assassin's Creed games. I think up to Revelations I hadn't played. And I ended up getting all of them all and play them all at once. And she just watched me play them. And like PUBG, she would watch me play PUBG. I think she was more interested than I was. But awesome. Yeah, so Star Wars Dark Forces, that was like the first game I remember. Like she kind of was around while I was playing. But to come back to where we are in the chronological timeline, like I need to admit something.
Admit away.
I spent a pretty decent chunk of time being a PC gamer.
What?
I know, right? I'm over it now.
Writing up my notice.
It's fine. It was a phase. But like the reason I got into PC gaming was because of immersive sims. You might have heard me talk about them once or twice. And like games like Deus Ex and Thief and stuff like that. System Shock. But the one that got me into immersive sims was the buggiest, most broken game that was also amazing, which is Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. I got it because there was a full page ad in Edge magazine, and it looked good and it sounded good, and I was like, cool. I know what Vampire the Masquerade is. I play D&D. I'm in, and I play it, and I bought it and played it before I read the reviews for it, which is good because a lot of the reviews were really bad. And if it had put me off, I would have missed out on a game where I was like, "This is fucking amazing." It's an amazing game. It's busted up to all hell. the story behind it is just as fascinating as the game itself. But like, yeah, that kind of set me on a path of like, again, it was that sort of like the curtain comes back and it's like, wait, how do I get more games that do what this is doing? Where it's like, it's not just a cool story, it's not just like a cool world. It's like, oh, like it's the systems, it's the reactivity. It's like you do this and then the world does this and it reacts like this, and like then it led me to Deus Ex.
Yeah.
Which is one of the greatest games ever made.
That's
but
amazing.
Again, I played that and then played it on PS2. Don't do that. Don't play Deus Ex on a console, for the love of God. But then I got it on PC and I was like, I played it on PC. It's like, again, like it's like amazing. It's an amazing game. It's a first person shooter, so you go in thinking, oh, just shoot everybody, right? But like, no, you don't need to shoot people. Like someone once said, you can tell if a game's an immersive sim if you can stack a bunch of boxes together to jump around a problem that you would have otherwise had to shoot. And like, yeah, it's like you could just like approach the game in so many different ways, and to me, that's like one of my favorite things to do in games.
Yeah,
it's why I just made a video that was nearly an hour long about Dishonored 2. So yeah, like that kind of set my taste, I think, as well as like just being really good games.
That's amazing. That is amazing. So the final game of before we had my gap. Go on.
Yeah, I'm just realizing I'm kind of doing games in pairs.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah. Like games have paired up in my head.
Yeah. So I have one game before we had my gap, basically, where I don't really remember much of what I played. I knew I played certain stuff, but never really impacted me on me before we got to like the back end of PlayStation 3, 360, PlayStation 4, Xbox One area, and that is Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy X, I absolutely fell in love with. I loved the bonkiness with it. I loved the. I don't know how he's doing that. I loved
the like characters. 300 episodes of having to take my headset off every time I stand up.
I loved the characters. I loved everything about the world and everything in the story. I really, really connected with. I even enjoyed part 2 because it connects the story and finishes the story. I think in such a great way with the characters of Tidus and Yuna, and like you got Waka and Luna and Aaron and Orange, should I say. You got so many more characters, and it's just like a great characters, and I love the story. I love the world. The thing I think I loved most about this one was the world building. It was just so insane, like what they were going for and everything, and I just loved how they tied in the summonings, and changing up the battle system was really, really good as well. I really enjoyed that. I think I was like, and then I'll just say this, just because I'm a lazy son of a bitch. To hear that they had voice acting was just amazing to me. I was just like, yes, voice acting, bring it on.
Well, it's not laziness. It's like you like listening. Like it's not even just a like or a preference thing, right? It's like you get it in games because of the voice acting.
Yeah. But this was like way before until now. Like me realizing that no, this is because like I can't read very well. I struggle with it. I also lose my attention to it as well. So I need like to be read the words type of thing for it.
Yeah, which is
so yeah, but I loved it. Final Fantasy X, man. I like it's the same with Final Fantasy 9. I go back to it every like say 2 or 3 years for it, and yeah, it's just a great game. I just loved it. Is the voice acting cheesy? Yes. Is the ha so laughable? But it's also there's a reason for it. It works if you properly look at it properly. Why they're doing it, and it's just brilliant.
So where are we? I'm in the mid 2000s now.
Yeah,
so where do I go from there? Like, yeah, because I did WoW, so I missed everything for like 2 years, from beta to Burning Crusade, and then I bounced as soon as they released the first expansion. I bounced. What did happen next? My partner bought me an Xbox 360 because we didn't have an Xbox 360. I was bummed that I was going to miss Halo 3 because that was coming out. and it was when I was working away, and I think I just offhandedly mentioned we lived in Leeds. I'd been in Liverpool all week. And I'd offhandedly mentioned that, like, oh, the place where I'm at has like an Xbox just demo set up, and it's literally just playing the Halo 3 menu on a loop for like a whole week. And I was like,
so it's like teasing you.
This is the worst, like, because I don't know when I'm going to be able to play this game. And I came back home on the Friday, and it was weird because we worked in teams, and I'd been sent to Liverpool, and like some other people that I knew had been literally sent to Leeds.
Yeah.
Not just the Leeds, to the place where my partner worked. So on a Friday, I would always walk up from the train station, go and pick her up after work on my way up, and we go and get food. And I walked in, and one of the people I knew from like traveling around and stuff had said, "You've got the best girlfriend ever," and I was like, "Thanks, I know." Like, I didn't even wait for like the context of the sentence. I just went, "Thank you, I know, thanks, yeah,
thanks, I know."
Yeah, that's great, yeah, thanks. And then it was like, yeah, she'd bought an Xbox 360 with her student loan, and she had it on her for when I came back. And we went out. To be fair, we left the bag there. We went out. We did our usual thing. We went to get food. We came back. We picked the bag up. We went home. Set the Xbox 360 up. I played Halo 3 all the way through the night. Finished it. I was like, "Fucking, this is amazing." That was cool. Yeah. So once I got the Xbox 360, it was kind of like kick-starting again, right? Like I kind of like kick-started my gaming again. But like, it wasn't really anything from the Xbox 360 era apart from like playing Halo with friends and Left 4 Dead with friends. Like, I guess the next like games that were impactful to me were like playing games where it was taking like the story to the next level. Because like stories in games were cool and some of them were really good, but like it was never to that like. There was always more for them. There was always more, like, you know what I mean? There was always more to come. Like, they got more places. And I guess, like, the 1-2 punch of Mass Effect 1 and then Dragon Age Origins, which I only bought because you got the special armor for Mass Effect 2 if you pre-ordered it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got this game. I might as well play it. And then it turns out it was amazing. And it was just like, oh, like, cool. Like, this is where, like, choices and consequences and stuff start actually coming into video games, right? And like, oh, they've got really good stories, and oh, what's this about Mass Effect like having like a sequel like with like where it's like it remembers the things that you've done. So that I think those were the next two like impactful ones. I was obsessed with both of these games. Like I must have completed them like 10 times each, like over and over again. I played them, and Mass Effect 2 after that.
That's awesome.
3, not so much. Didn't really replay 3 that much. Or at all. Or the flies massing.
Sorry?
Or the flies massing.
No, someone was just telling me we were going to bed. I don't know why she needs to tell me this. She could have just texted me as I've got Messenger open.
But yeah, like so like that's that sort of story era where it was like, oh, you can play games specifically just for the story. Like,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like, yeah, like I never like obviously Halo didn't connect with me or anything like I've always said, but
love
like,
Halo. Story's cheesy blockbuster nonsense. Like, I'm not playing it for I'm not going, this is an amazing story. You know what I mean? Like, until Halo 4, yeah. I would say, like, where I was like, I actually really connected with the narrative of that game. But like the first 3 games, I was just like, you know what? It's fun to see Master Chief blow stuff up. And it's got some great lines of dialogue in it. But I would never have gone, and it's a great story. It's like, it's not really, though, is it? Still think those games are amazing, but I can't just hold my hands up and go, oh, hell yeah. Of the story.
Yeah, like both of you and me, like what we said, like even I, like not the Halo guy, but even I say Halo 4 has the best story.
Mm-hmm.
So without a doubt, he actually connect with the characters.
Yeah, they actually has characters with characterization. Like Halo Man was just a walking, like, if you think about his best, most iconic lines, they're one-liners. Like, there are very small moments of actual emotional pathos in the Halo trilogy, but they're so few and far between. Most people probably don't really remember them. Instead, most people remember the bit in Halo 3 where you go to rescue Cortana, and she's like, so have you got a plan to get us out of here? And Master Chief was like, oh, you know, I thought I might try shooting my way out. Mix things up a bit. It's a really fucking amazing joke, but it's a joke. It's just you remember it because it's really funny in the context of Halo. Like that's it. It's not like a big story moment or anything. But...
Yeah, true. No doubt.
Sorry.
So this is where
Halo tangent over.
No. So this is where I started to come back. Obviously, I came back in late 360 PlayStation 3 era. Beginning of the PlayStation 4 era, basically. So I came in like for when the Uncharted franchise was kicking off and the Mass Effect franchise was kicking off and everything. And those games like really brought me back. I really loved the Uncharted games, like all the way up to 4 into PlayStation 4. Like I really do just love those games. I think each one are great in their own merits and everything, and they just work in so many great ways with the characters, storylines, and everything. And I just love the payoff what we get in number 4. That's so satisfying. It's just so great to see that I can't wait to see if they do anything else more. But like, I still just remember to the day, like my partner, like she sometimes doesn't really sit down and watch me play. But when it came to Uncharted ones, she came and watched me play and everything. And I got told off when Uncharted 3 came out. So I took the day off for Uncharted 3 and I started playing it without her.
Oh.
I completed it before she came home.
Oh no.
Yeah. I was in the doghouse for a couple of hours. But I said, no, it's all right. I can play it again. And I did. I played it again, and she really enjoyed it and everything. And like she really, that's how like me and her connected for a while. Like she doesn't really play games and everything, but like she really likes watching them. Like she loved like watching me play LA Noire because she really could get into it as well because she likes detective stories or murder mysteries and everything. So she like helped me with that game. And like same like goes with like Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human and whatnot. She like really loved watching those type of things because she could get into it. My
partner at the time was the same. It was like she didn't really play games, but like you stick on like Mass Effect, and it was like Dragon Age. Dragon Age, she loved Dragon Age. She loved fantasy, so she really liked Dragon Age.
Yeah.
So you like sit down and play Dragon Age, and it was like she'd be sat there like watching. It's cool. It's fun. It's a good way to connect people.
Oh hell yeah. And like in Mass Effect is like for me is one of the greatest trilogies of all time. I absolutely adore the characters for it. I just fell in love with that world and universe, and that's what I think what I loved so much. Like going back to like to Final Fantasy 9, it was the worlds building and everything that I loved so much. From that one to Final Fantasy 10 to Kota, Uncharted, Mass Effect, and etc. And the other games I'm going to talk about. But yeah,
I'll bet if someone takes the games that we've listed and like actually puts them in a list and stuff, you could probably someone could probably draw a line through all of them and go, this is why you like these. This is why these ones specifically are all like in a line, right?
Yeah.
There'll be common threads between all of them. Yeah, man. You looking forward to my Mass Effect video?
Oh hell yeah! I can't wait for that. I think that's gonna be so much fun. It really is. Because I already know some of your opinions on it, but like I just can't wait to see how you're gonna mix it in with your sense of humor as well.
My sense of humor, I mean, even I'm worried about what I'm going to do. I'm like, oh no. This is going to be a long-ass video.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get back to 3. I need to play 3, because I stopped at 2 and then played God of War. And it's like, do I play more new games? I have a lot of games I want to get through. Mass Effect 3 is right there. And I was really into Mass Effect 2 when I played it again. So we'll see what I do next. But yeah, playing games with other people sitting next to you watching is great. I love it.
Yeah.
Like
that's why I can't wait for us to do our charity stream. Hopefully that you will come down here. And because of how I've got my setup and everything, it's going to be pretty damn perfect for us to be able to play stuff.
Yeah, I can see the sofa
and everything.
Yeah. I can see it too, yeah. It's like I played the last game I did that with. I played Life is Strange True Colors again. With Nelly, because I gave her my Xbox when I got my Series S. Actually gave it to her before I got my Series S, but it was like I gave it to her and then I bought the Series S the next day. It wasn't like months apart or anything, but like I just stuck
you
on
had a
Life
plan.
I had my account logged in and I was like, let's play Life is Strange True Colors. So I just play through Life is Strange True Colors while we were watching and stuff, and I let her make all the decisions apart from who she had to date. She had to date Steph. That was it. if I have the controller in my hand, I don't care if I've said you get to make all the decisions. If you choose Ryan and not Steph, that's not what my hands are gonna do. But like, I miss doing shit like that, man. Like Keith's first experience of the Mass Effect trilogy was with me, because he has, and I know he doesn't mind me talking about this because he's talked about it. He has dyspraxia, so like his eye-eye coordination isn't very good. And he can play games now, but like it's like it's like a thing where he's worked on it. You know what I mean? And like, so back in the day when like I was raving about Mass Effect, saying this is amazing, you'd love it. I just played it. I was like the controller.
Yeah.
And he would just make all of the choices and do all the decisions and stuff. And that was just such a fun way to experience Mass Effect. Like, because I'd already played the game, but then I'm replaying it, but then I'm not really in control, right? I'm just shooting things. So that was a really interesting way to play those games. We've just basically gotten stuck on Mass Effect. Whose turn is
it? Yours.
Okay. Where was I up to? I was up to Mass Effect. I don't know, like, I don't know if there were many games that impacted me, like, for the next, like, few years after that, really. Because, Mass Effect with the Xbox 360 era. I didn't have a PS3. I got a PS4. Got an Xbox One. And, like, it's all games that I love, but I wouldn't say anything really, like, hit me. You know what I mean? Until probably Celeste, I would say, was probably the next game that was like an impactful game.
That's fair. Celeste is an amazing game.
Well, like, so I played 2 games at the start of 2017. Is that right? No. 2018? When did I come out? What year did I come out? 2018, right?
I think so.
Okay, cool. See, it was whatever year it was. So
all I remember is that both you put out a thing, and both me and Sophia dropped into your chat when you
did. That was a weird weekend for more reasons than anyone knows.
I'll
talk about it now because it's going to be part of the whole story. Because like, I'm not going to say like, I played 2 games at the start of 2018, which was the Red Strings Club, which had a transgender character in it. It was 3 games, sorry. The Red Strings Club, which is a cool indie game that had a trans character in it. Celeste, which was made by a person who has now transitioned, but hadn't at the time. And Monster Hunter World, where you make your own character. And like, those 3 things all happen. And then very shortly after I did those 3 things, I myself began the process of being like, oh shit, this is who I am. Like, what do I do about it?
2018, I just wanted to confirm.
Yeah.
That's when Monster Hunter World came out.
It was those 3 games, and then like they really like sort of helped me sort of like unlock parts of my brain. It was playing them all at once, I think, like back to back to back, and I read some posts on Facebook, Facebook group I was in conjunction with those 3 things. They all combined in my brain and exploded, I guess. And so like I credit those 3 games as well as a lot of other things, but in terms of like the games, it was those 3 games that really sort of like pushed me on that path that I was on now. And then like for the rest of the year I was dealing with that while not telling everybody and having an online social presence where I'm on podcasts, and I was still on my Xbox and me, so I was doing 2 podcasts a week, and and like I'm still playing games, I'm still reviewing games, and I'm dealing with this stuff, and
yeah,
held it together surprisingly well for that.
Yeah, it was. I do remember that part kind of a little bit, because like obviously like the time like you were on my Xbox and me and everything, and I was obviously watching it all the time at that time and everything. But then you kind of just vanished.
I did
for a certain time amount and everything like that. And obviously, Fixer, amazing that he obviously he knew and everything like that what you were going through and everything. But and obviously, and shout out to him, like he never said a single thing. He said obviously it was and whatnot, but he says, "Yep." He always says, "You're all right." They're just going through certain issues right now. That's not for me to speak about. And I went, not a problem whatsoever. And then obviously you revealed your tweet and everything, and then I went, oh wow, this is fucking amazing. And then obviously me and Sophia dropped into your chat, and it was just amazing.
Yeah, so I tweeted, Twitch streamed, did a stream. There are two things I want to talk about. Fix-It was fantastic. I told him it was February 28th. I'll always remember the date when I realized what I was about to do. That's how I like to put it. And I told him in like April. It was right before we started recording an episode of My Xbox and Me. Don't remember which one. I remember two things vividly, apart from the fact that he was really incredible and he was really supportive. I remember two things vividly about Fix-It during this period of time in regards to that. One, when I told him and then he told Haley, Haley's immediate reaction was, you better read about this because you're going to say something stupid. And I was like, fair.
Yeah, she said that. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, that was amazing.
And two, the Sunday that I did a coming out stream was EGX. That weekend was also RTX. That weekend, while I was preparing to do this, and he was really apologetic that he couldn't be in the stream, and I was like, dude, don't worry about it. Like, I'm doing it at this time because I was going to be off anyway. I was going to have 2 weeks off, so like, work would have 2 weeks to adapt to the news before I even came back and whatever. But whatever, it's beside the point. But the point is, I don't know if you remember this, Moody. That was the weekend he interviewed Greg Miller for the first time.
Yep.
And I don't know if you've ever watched it, in the knowledge that he knows but doesn't know whether he can say anything. And he's talking about My Xbox and Me. And there's like this proper, like, he's talking about his co-host, and there's this moment where he says my dead name, but he stumbles over it, you know what I mean? He like proper pauses while he's talking to Greg Miller. I thought that was funny. I thought that was really cute. He was like, what do I say?
Yeah.
But what was funny was because I had the login, I was logged into My Xbox and MC Fixer, one of the two YouTube channels, whichever one he put that interview on. Because I was logged in, I could see that interview for like a couple of weeks before I went live. And I watched it thinking he'd already published it. And I messaged him and said, hey, your interview with Greg's really good. And he went, what? How did you see it? And I was like, oh, it's because I'm logged in. I can see all your videos. Yeah.
Bless him.
It was good. I think that's pretty much it for like impact games for me. Like, that's my journey. Like, love tons of games, you know, like tons of games have had like emotional resonance with me, but I don't know about like impact in my life.
Well, I have a couple of more, obviously, and some of them you do know about and everything like that for what happened to me. But one of them, one of them is everyone knows I'm a massive fan of Dragon Age Inquisition, and I'm hopeful for the next one that comes out and everything. But this was one of those big games that I was just like, it was kind of like the same way of like how much I fell in love with Final Fantasy IX, where I was just like, I'm in it. I'm thinking about this game. I'm thinking about the characters. I'm thinking about this. I played every single DLC that dropped for it. Just like the Mass Effect trilogy when that came out with DLC, I did it. And I just fell in love and I really loved it. Next one, obviously, Last of Us 1 and 2, especially 2. I adore 2 to this day. No, that may not be the popular thing, but I do. I think 2 is one of the greatest games ever created. Like, it is up there for me for Final Fantasy IX. I love the the part 1 again on the remake that they just released this year. Going back through that story again with the characters was just an amazing feeling and everything, and it was just amazing. I love the world, and I do hope Naughty Dog do decide to go, fuck what the haters think. We're going to do a third one. I really would love to see a proper conclusion to their story in a great way. And the last one is Life is Strange: True Colors. Everyone knows why. with what happened to me in 2021.
And if you don't, we did an amazingly cool video about it last year.
Yeah. Along with True Colors, the Mass Effect Legendary Edition that came out last year not only helped me move on with like things so like, I can come to terms with the passing of my dad. Let me realize that I'm pansexual in my life and everything, and that's what those games did about for me and everything. Like,
thank you, Gareth.
I'll always that's the Gareth. Thank you, Ryan, and everything like that. That tall glass of water in True Colors and everything. You may avoid him, but I don't avoid that man. Even though I do not deny Steph is the best romance in that game. I do not fucking deny that. Yeah, no,
even though I literally dress like him. Even though I dress like him.
I know that's really weird. Yeah, you dress like him. Like Steph is the best romance. There's no doubt about that. I can see that with both my eyes open and everything. And that's one of the things. That's what I love about it. These games have impacted me in such a way. Just to be a nerd with all the Pokemon stuff, a Dino Crisis lover who wants to see dinos come back into a great action adventure game. Yeah. Star Wars, adventure games all the way through from Final Fantasy 9, 10, the Uncharted quad trilogy, Mass Effect quad trilogy. Like, oh, I'll throw in Andromeda. I had a lot of fun with Andromeda and with the characters on that. Inquisition, The Last of Us, the emotions I went through in those games, and Life is Strange, True Colors. What all these games have impacted, and there's so many more, but like these are the ones off the top of my head that I just came to my mind that I fell in love with, and it's just like games. They aren't just a kids thing, ladies and gentlemen. I know some ignorant people who think these things are just a toy and everything. You're completely wrong, because they impact so many people in their lives and everything, and
yeah. It's
these
like
things,
I'm
these
just
things
thinking
deserve to be loved.
Amazing listing games, by the way.
Thank you. So was yours.
I'm just sitting here thinking, like, yeah, like I don't know if there's games where it's like, oh, these are the games that impacted me the most in my life or whatever, but like I'm just suddenly like thinking of all these games that I've bonded over people with, if you know what I mean. Like,
yeah,
Among Us brought so many of us together. Like for a long time, especially in the time when it was like it was a scary time to live through.
I'll throw in Apex Legends as well. I think
Apex Legends was the game that like I think kept me sane at the time that we played it, where it was like I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. Like, and Apex Legends with you and Keith was like keeping me grounded. Like Phasmophobia, like reconnecting with Ryan, like because I knew him and we were friends. We'd lost touch for a while. He joined our Among Us group, and then he joined our Phas group, and now it's like we're friends again because we reconnected through Phasmophobia. And things like connecting with like one of my friends through like Stardew Valley. You know what I mean? Like I can credit Hearthstone as a game that changed my life because. Not because I ever played it, but because there was this huge controversy that happened for 4 weeks straight that brought somebody else onto this podcast who now is like a permanent co-host.
Yeah, so thanks, Hearthstone.
That was the Buckstone thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like games can impact you in ways that you don't even realize. Like, I've never played Yu-Gi-Oh!
For good or
I probably
bad.
never will. But like, one of my closest friends like works on Yu-Gi-Oh! It's just weird little connections like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. You can't ask for much more.
No. Yeah, I can. I can't ask for more.
Okay, what's the time on for us?
We've got time for one news story.
All right, I'm going to go straight into rumors of aliens, please. Give me the alien.
God damn it.
Give me it.
Why do I give you control of these things? Hold on.
You have to go into the story now, don't you?
Yeah. I haven't looked at the doc for an hour and 40 minutes, man. AAA alien game inspired by Dead Space and Resident Evil reportedly launching 2023. This is from Izzy Vanderveld over at The Gamer, who writes, Surprising no one, a new AAA Alien game is reportedly in development. The good news is that it could be launching as early as the holiday season of 2023. The even better news is that it's reportedly inspired by survival horror games Dead Space and Resident Evil. This isn't an Alien Isolation sequel, although one is also rumoured to be either in pitching or very early stage development. As reported by Insider Gaming, quote, sources, end quote, have provided documentation proving the existence of the AAA Alien game with a holiday 2023 launch window, codenamed Marathon. It's being developed for current-gen consoles. Insider Gaming recently updated his original article, adding, quote, sources have said that Grasshopper Manufacturer will be developing the project, end quote. Survival horror staples Dead Space and Resident Evil were inspirations for the game, meaning the new title is likely to be capitalizing on the success of Alien Isolation rather than attempting another action-oriented entry, which frequently don't fare well. Creative Assembly, the developer behind the original Alien Isolation, didn't respond to Insider Gaming's request for comment on rumors of a sequel, but that won't stop us getting excited. Will it, Moody?
Hell fucking no, not this. I have to say, take this with a massive pinch of salt and everything, because we don't really talk about rumors on this or anything like that. But when I saw it yesterday or 2 days ago, when I read it, I was thinking, okay, I kind of want to talk about this. I kind of just want to scream to the rooftops and pray to God this might be true and everything, because to think that we might, why no one's ever thought of trying to do Resident Evil style, Dead Space style Alien game is beyond me yet. Because it just screams out that could be an amazing thing. Like, I remember when I was replaying Dead Space, I was literally thinking, oh God, this is fucking Alien, man. This is fucking Alien.
You were making so many Alien references.
Yeah, I really was. Yes, they must have heard me. They watched the stream.
They watched the stream. And they were like, wait, I've got a great idea.
Hell yeah. And I think everyone who loved Alien Isolation's kind of been clamoring for an Alien Isolation 2, hoping that Crystal Dynamics might be wanting to do a sequel or something like that. Like, all they have to do, like, the only thing that let Alien Isolation down was that, the story just went on way too long. It was just too long of a game, and it just there was a part in the game that I just felt like, there, the conclusive end. There, done.
We finished.
We're done. We've won. No, oh no, we haven't won. No, we got to keep on going. Why are we still going? Why? But there was still so much more to do in that franchise, and I just think we could really have something special. Like, the marketing for that game was incredible for Alien Isolation. Like, it really was. And to think, if the rumors of the Dead Space style game is next year, that means we're getting 2 Alien games next year. So, we're getting an XCOM style and this, if it's true.
So, how much good has Resident Evil 2 done for the horror genre at this point? Because you got to think a big part of the reason why we're getting a Dead Space remake and a potential Alien AAA game, and we're getting a game like the Callisto Protocol is because the reason no one did more Alien after Alien Isolation in the style of Dead Space or whatever is because horror games, AAA studios, AAA publishers, generally didn't like horror because horror doesn't sell. You know what I mean? There's a reason Resident Evil went from what it was to Resident Evil 6. Resident Evil 2 remake coming out and being popular and successful has kind of reignited the horror genre. Because you can see it because a lot of these games are now taking their cue from Resident Evil 2. Dead Space Remake is obviously taking a lot of cues from Resident Evil 2. Which is fitting because the original Dead Space took a lot of cues from Resident Evil 4. So I think that's kind of what's happened here, where it's people in it, publishers are now looking, going, oh shit, can we do something to hop on this gravy train while it's still going? And then people are like, yeah, we can do an Alien game. Yeah, we have a Dead Space IP.
Yeah. It's there. It really is. It's literally just take the necromorphs out and put the alien in, and give the character pulse rifles or flamethrowers if you just want them to keep the alien away from you and survive. You know, it's it's there. It's but I do agree. Resident Evil 2 remake has done all of it, along with I'll even say I know it didn't work for you, but Resident Evil 3. I think Resident Evil 3 Nemesis is one of those things, one of those games as well that made people go, yes, we can do this type of thing. Especially if you think Resident Evil Nemesis is basically just Alien Isolation of you getting chased down by an unstoppable creature trying to destroy you and everything.
Sort of.
And whatnot. Pardon?
Sort of.
Sort of, yeah, that's true, sort of. But no, yeah, and it's just like, yeah. Like that's why I've always been screaming to the rooftops, get Dino Crisis. Give us it, man. It'll be so perfect for it right now.
I know what you said, but there was like this weird cut off. Might be my headphones, maybe it's in the podcast. It literally said, it sounded like you went, gay Dino Crisis. And I was like, now we're talking. Now you've got me on board. I've spent
Gay
2
Dino
years.
Crisis,
I've spent
yes.
2 years taking the piss out of you because you've been talking about Dino Crisis remake nonstop. You want to make it gay? I'm in. Capcom, gay Dino Crisis. Let's go. Let's fucking go.
If it gets me my Dino Crisis, I don't give a fuck.
I'm going to start tweeting. I'm going to start
in.
tweeting. I'm going to make videos. I'm going to do a whole thing. Gay Dino Crisis.
Dick
Are the characters gay or are the dinosaurs gay?
Either way.
Everyone's gay.
Everyone's gay, Amy. Everyone's gay.
What were we talking about? Oh yeah, we were talking about
gay dinos, apparently.
It just sounded like that's what you said, so I just
No, but yeah, there's rumors that 20th Century Studios are doing a new Alien movie, and they've already kind of possibly got the actress they want to play in it. And it's like, if that's like, Prey was a huge success this year, got a lot of critical love from a lot of people who say like Predator's come back into a really good way. And if that means they could do it with Alien, that means games will get into games, and like that's all I want, man. Just give me a good Alien film and game, man. I'm not that hard to please. Truly, I am not that hard to please. I'm a very simple man.
It's true. He's not hard to please. Yeah, cool. So I guess that was our news story for this week. I don't know. The podcast has been a bit weird the last few weeks, but I'm digging it. I mean, not counting the week that we didn't do it. Where it's just been like, whatever. Like, who cares? Let's just talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about. Like, next week we're going to do Pokemon. So, like, see how that goes. Like, for, like, in terms of, like, talking about the news, it's like, no, we just talked about Pokemon. I'm enjoying it. It's fun. And, yeah, you threw out that gaming Impact game thing at the before we started recording, because I was like, man, like all the news is fucking PlayStation versus Xbox, and like they bring up some like cool, interesting stuff, but like I can't be bothered.
Oh yeah, I can appreciate that.
Two companies having a slap fight, and it's like every now and again they say something interesting, but then you got to go through and talk about the slap fighting, and it's like, whatever.
I can appreciate that. Like seriously, like yeah, it's just like it's just tiresome by the end of the day.
Yeah,
it's just all tiresome.
It is, but you know what's not tiresome? Games
out this video games.
Amazing segue. Ha! On November 29th, The Night Witch comes to PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Soccer Story comes to PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC, and also launches in Game Pass on November 30th. Warhammer 40,000 Darktide comes to Xbox and PC, and also launches in Game Pass. Then, on December 2nd, The Callisto Protocol comes to PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. I really need to send some games back to Boomerang. Shit, I thought I had more time. And also, Need for Speed Unbound comes to PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. And Marvel's Midnight Suns comes to PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. I'm going to be honest, though. I mean, like, apart from a couple of games that aren't out yet, and Bayonetta 3, which is in my Boomerang queue, like, I feel like I've got all of the games that I'm going to play, like, 2022 games for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I think I'm at that point now where it's like, I know what I'm probably going to play, what I'm going to have time to play. And I'm like, yeah, this is it. And I own them all, or like I have them on Game Pass or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm probably the same. Like, Callisto Protocol is probably the last game probably I'm going to be getting from Boomerang this year. Yeah. And then it's the rest is Game Pass and whatever else I need to.
Yeah, like I splurged on, this is Black Friday. So I had a mini splurge on Switch. I bought like a few puzzle games on my Switch.
Nice.
Just like that I wanted to play anyway. and then like I bought another game on Steam, and then I'm looking at it like what I've got installed from Game Pass and what I've got on my Switch now and what I've got on, and I'm just like, cool. I think this is enough. Like I think like these are the games that I want to try and get through. So like, and then I sat down and played Pentiment, and my eyes couldn't take it. You gotta take it, Cam. So we'll see how that goes through the week, because now I'm really into Cowboy Bebop. 8 episodes in.
Respect.
But what I'm basically saying is I don't know how many more games I'm going to get to. We'll see. I want to get Mass Effect done by the end of the year as well. So, but that's it. Doesn't really have anything to do with games out this week. Should we move on very briefly to OpenCritic Head-To-Head?
Yeah, let's go for it. Yeah.
This is the game we play every week where we try to guess the OpenCritic average of some upcoming games. Whoever guesses closest to the OpenCritic average at the time of recording gets a point, and if you manage to guess the score correctly, you get 2 points. Last week we didn't do one because there was not many games come out. So the current scores stand at Amy 25, Moody 26. Our guests have 3 points. It's very close. There's only a few weeks left. We're in that area. We're in that moment. This week, we are trying to guess the OpenCritic average of the Callisto Protocol. I have thoughts about the Callisto Protocol.
What are your thoughts before we give our scores?
My thoughts on the Callisto Protocol are that they've... And I think we talked about this when we talked about the game a few weeks ago, where it's like, I'm in for a horror game. I mean, I'm always in for a horror game that's been inspired by Dead Space. I love horror as a genre. But, like, the only thing I've seen them really talk about pre-release of the game is how much gore and murder and death there is in it. And I'm like, I need more. Like, I need more from a horror game. And maybe more is in there. But they're not doing a great job of selling the game to me as, like, an experience that I need to have based on what they're talking about, like, so far. And it's like all I've seen them talk about is the thing that's cool, but it's not going to sell me on a game, you know?
Right, I think they're trying to aim just for the Dead Space people who just want that type of experience right now. But obviously for people like us who want more than just like, hey, we want to connect to the characters here, we want to connect to the story, we want a good, enriching, brightening story,
I want to be scared.
And that type of thing. Like,
blood and gore and guts doesn't scare me. Like I want to be scared. Like when I'm playing like Resi 2 or Remake or Silent Hill, you know, like I want to be scared. I'm terrified. I don't want to. I want to be like looking at a corridor, going, I don't want to go down there because I don't know what's down there. Like whereas when I'm thinking about everything that I've seen with the Callisto Protocol so far, it's like I know exactly what's around that corner. It's me mashing a not a necromorph into a fucking blender. You know what I mean? Like, okay, great. I mean, it'll be fun, no doubt, but
yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's good. It's one of those things. There's no doubt about that. I don't know where this is going to land. Like, this is like everything what you're saying there tells me that they've prioritized one thing and one thing only. And they're aiming for an audience that I think is wanting now more than what we normally want, normally want to get. 'm I'm going to go 82.
Good, okay. 82. There's one thing I've learned as well about horror games, and that's they review worse than other genres. Like in terms of scores, right? Like in general, I've noticed that the scores are generally lower. Like because we do this game and we do Fantasy Critic, so I'm more aware of like review scores than I otherwise would be.
Yeah,
and it's just one of the things I've noticed. It's like horror games don't get as big reviews a lot of the time. I don't know why. It's just one thing I noticed. There's another thing I'm telling everybody that you could use against me in Fantasy Critic next year. I stay away from horror games for this reason.
It's the kind of stigma that it is when it comes to films. They may sell really well when it comes to like people going out to see them just for a quick scare, but also get that they're cheap to make. But they never really get the massive critic response or anything like that. Like the last one I think that really stood out for a lot of people was probably A Quiet Place when that first came out.
Yeah, I remember
Place,
that one.
like because that was just like, oh, this is taking horror to a whole new level and whatnot. So I don't know. What are you going for?
Yeah, I remember that one getting a lot of the hype. Yeah.
Sequel's great as well. I'll say that.
I will eventually watch it. The issue I had was I watched The Quiet Place and I was like, oh, this is mint. And then I watched 9 seasons of The Office, and now it's like, oh, it's Jim from The Office.
You don't see Jim from The Office in Quiet Place.
I do. I did. I don't anymore. It's just one of those things where it's like, because I watched 9 seasons of it, and then I was like, oh, The Quiet Place, and I was like,
yeah,
that's Jim.
Funnily enough, I said this yesterday to my partner. Quiet Place is still arguably my best experience in the cinema. Because every fucker was quiet. Like, deadly quiet. And it was like, I think like everyone was afraid to like just make any noise to get...
Because there's no noise, yeah.
I'm going to get John Krasinski killed. Or Emily Blunt killed in this game. I'm going to get the monsters hunting for them. It was the best experience ever.
That's immersion for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I've gone
80. I was tempted, Amy. I was tempted with 80.
Ripping a page out of Moody's play. I can't drop a point. I'm so close to the ultimate comeback. I was 10 points behind.
If I'm right, if I win this one, I win, don't I? Because there's not going to be a game the week after, isn't it?
So there's games coming out.
This
game's coming out for like the next 2 weeks after this.
But there's nothing of massive.
So I mean, there's stuff we can do the game for. Like the stuff that'll get reviews and get a score. But I mean, if you get the point this week and we've only got 2 weeks left, I would have to get a score bang on to even have a chance of winning. At that point, the best I could do is draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 10 weeks ago when I was 10 points behind and I said I need to fucking nail every single one, like I wasn't joking.
The funny thing is, I think a lot of people they may think of thinking, oh, he's throwing this away. It's called a game of luck, you freaking Muppets.
Yeah, like there's no strategy, right? Like it's a game of luck. Like you've got to guess what other people are thinking to think sometime next week. And then see what all of those thoughts combine into. It's a complete luck. It's like saying there's a strategy to Fantasy Critic. It's potluck, mate. Do you think when I fucking got picked up like Immortality, I thought it was going to be one of the best reviewed games of the year? No. That was just luck. That's how these games work. There's no game of skill. Remember, because like at the same time, you're like, oh, he's throwing it away. At one point, I went from being massively ahead to 10 points behind.
Yeah, you were ahead early on in this season.
Yeah, because it's just luck. That's all it is. Speaking of luck, I'm going to look at this bed and fall into it. That's going to do it for episode 330 of the Words About Games podcast. Thanks very much for joining me, Moody. Do you have any cool final thoughts on this weird but awesome podcast that we did?
Have a great week, everybody. Be awesome. Christmas is coming around soon. Say that you love somebody.
Moody, do you want to play Faz next week?
Maybe.
Also, I love you.
I love you too, Amy.